Hello, everyone. Welcome. We are the XoneBros. This is your positive gaming and Xbox One community. I don't know what button to press here. We're having technical difficulties. There we go. I got it.
Figured it out. Oh my gosh, you just have to press the same button.
It's another day. That's right. It's Nintendo time. It's Nintendo Switch time. As always, I am joined by the bros, the XoneBros. First and foremost, he is a Scottish-born American lad.
Are you talking about me or you?
You.
Yeah.
And he lifted 385 pounds today, ladies and gentlemen. He is Mr. McSpicy Mark Haywood.
Thank you.
That's like 1 million Nintendo Switches on your back.
Is it though?
Yeah.
The math is there. It checks out. Yes, that's me. It's
Done
good. It's good to be here. Yeah. Oh man, it was hard. It was hard work, but I got there.
How was your week with your Nintendo Switch? Anything new? Anything happening? Anything fun?
No, this is what happens. I play my games that I like on there, which are 2. Although I did play some of the demos this week.
Yeah.
Like,
by the way, do you have Shifty? Mr. Shifty?
Mr. Swift.
Mr.
Shifty.
Mr.
Shifty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't gotten
The
that yet.
patch came out.
It did?
Yes.
Okay, then I'll pretty much buy it right now. Let me go get my Switch.
There you go. So for those of you that don't know, sorry to interrupt. For those of you that don't know, the Mr. Shifty had major frame rate issues on the Nintendo Switch. The patch came out and has fixed that. Looks like a fantastic game. Go check it out.
All right. Well, now I'm gonna get another game.
So back, you enjoy a couple games on the Switch and you do your daily stuff. And
yeah. I do my daily. When I do my duty, I do my daily.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Alliteration.
Yeah. So, I keep going to the e-store constantly to try and find new games that have come out, and they still don't come out yet. So I'm waiting.
Yeah.
I'm waiting.
Yeah.
A lot of the Neo Geos come out, and which we
the
talked about.
calm before the storm.
Yeah.
E3 is this week. Speaking of E3, it's every night at Jordan's house. E3.
Yeah.
The excitement that is equivalent to E3 exists when Jordan comes home from work, sits in front of his TV, and watches a movie. It's Jordan the man, Jordan Paskett.
Hello.
How was your Nintendo week?
It was pretty good.
Not just a week, a Nintendo week. Now, what's the difference between a regular week and a Nintendo week?
I don't know.
You don't?
There's a
you
lot
probably
of
play a lot more Nintendo.
Well, there's a lot of
That's my guess.
Nintendo. Yeah.
Mario is more involved in your life.
Yeah.
You know?
Mario and his carts and his friends.
Yeah, and then it's a good time.
Yeah.
It's magical.
It is.
So tell me, what happened this week? Tell us about your Nintendo playing.
I played the ARMS demo, which was last week.
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah.
I played that a little bit more, and then I just played Mario Kart again. I've been trying to.
That's your go-to game on the Switch there, huh?
It's just a fun game to play, to wind down.
Oh.
Like after a long day's work.
You just jump in, do a couple races.
Yeah, and again, I play in the bathroom.
Are you taking the Are you taking the competitive stance, or is it a casual game?
Well,
for you?
no, I do. I play multiplayer.
Sure.
And I'm trying to rank up, get that ranking up.
Okay.
But I'm also trying to finish the campaign. But you know how you're just torn between the two.
I'm always
torn.
torn.
I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Mario Kart.
Mark, are you taking the competitive Mario Kart route, or is it still a casual, or
Nah,
are you in between, a semi casual?
It's not a competitive game.
Okay.
Jordan will get mad, and there are people that will say, "But it is."
Sure.
No, when you have to go into the options to turn off the drive outside the area of the track, that's defaulted on. Like
Sure.
the new deluxe edition.
Sure.
I have so many gripes about it. Competitive. Sorry, everybody. They have an automatic setting that's automatically turned on when you first start the game that you can't go cut corners, and you can't go off it's like bowling rails.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah,
Sure.
basically.
That's basically what it is. When that is a default setting turned on, it's not meant for. There's still no lap times. It's not.
Sure.
It's more of a casual. Let's have a good time. Let me press buttons.
Yeah.
Okay.
The only time you can do lap times is when you go into time trials.
And that's just by yourself.
Oh, really? So that's not even. There's not like a world leaderboard for that.
I think there's like a world leader ranking, but it doesn't. I don't know if it shows your lap times. In multiplayer, after you finish a match, I don't think it shows you your lap times.
It doesn't.
either.
It doesn't.
okay,
Yeah. So
okay.
I don't think it's a
So
competitive racing game at all.
It's a casual, sit back, relax, enjoy yourself type of game.
I think the arena mode helped the competitive level a little bit, like how they changed some things.
Yeah.
The battle mode.
The battle mode, yes, and that's it's fun. That's fun. I enjoy that because I can see I had more balloons than them.
Oh, okay.
Right?
I can appreciate that.
Yeah. There's a quantifiable I am better than you or you are better than me going on.
Yeah.
Last but not least, I am X1, aka David Paskett. I did get a chance to jump back into some Zelda this
Yeah,
week,
it's a
and
good
that's
one.
just a fun world.
Good for you.
Just
World of
casually.
Hyrule.
You know what? I'm playing that game casual at this point. I'm not. I was gonna take Jordan's and try and plow through and beat it, but no. Why? Nothing's on the horizon. Arms is on the horizon that I really want, but I've got plenty of time.
Yeah.
Plenty of time and resources to.
I think Arms is next week.
To wait it out. Yeah, but Arms is even like a jump in, play, jump out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Arms is a
Yeah.
couple minute matches. So Zelda is just a nice, relaxing world to be in. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in to the NES Bros, joining us another week. Before we get to the news, if you want to help, this is more than just a Nintendo podcast. This is a positive gaming community. We're doing multiple podcasts. We're building the community. There is some big news coming in a couple weeks. Teaser. If you want to help grow this show and also the community, you can like us on iTunes. Don't forget to go like our Facebook page. We are almost to 1,000 followers on the NES Bros Facebook page. So thank you, everybody who's liked us over there. There are daily news stories over there. We ask questions. The weekly podcast questions go up over there on Facebook. And also, if you'd like to help support us and really help us expand, please help support us on Patreon. Go over to patreon.com/positive gaming, or you can go to nesbros.com and click on the Patreon button that's there. If you are a winner and you are in our NES Bros podcast, every month we give away a game to one of our Patreon subscribers. If you are solely in the NES Bros, you just let us know and you will be eligible to win a Nintendo game that month. Thank you so much for all your support. Please go over there and help us out. Jordan, let's get to it. Give me
Hold
some big...
on.
Yeah.
There's a comment in chat I want to talk about.
Go ahead.
Because it regards Mario Kart.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so Super Nintendo, great comment there. Would you say the same thing about competitive FPSs that have aim assist on from default? They have leaderboards and ghosts you can race. Yeah, okay. So I want to talk about the aim assist for a controller.
Sure.
Because there's a common misconception that that's easier.
Sure.
The aim assist is on there by default because a joystick needs to have a dead space or you'll be moving constantly all over the place.
Sure.
The auto assist helps those fine-tune things. Without it, it's pretty much an unplayable
it's not like
FPS.
You have a mouse.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Imagine on a mouse, if you just barely moved it left or right, nothing would happen. That's what the joystick has. By default, otherwise it would be all over the place. There would be no way to control where you're looking to a finite kind of control.
Sure.
So I believe that comment is kind of apples and oranges.
Sure.
Would you say the same thing about competitive that has aim assist on default? Aim assist is there to make sure that your game runs smoothly. It doesn't make things easier. Actually, for the most part, it makes things harder. Because, especially in a game like Overwatch, because when let's say you're Anna and you're healing, it's hard to aim for certain characters because it pulls it off of people sometimes when somebody goes across. I think
because Nintendo is saying they do have leaderboards and ghosts you can race. That's a competitive aspect. Well, we're talking competitive. You're talking head-to-head competitive.
Yeah. I'm talking.
And so you can still have competitive. It does have a competitive aspect to the game in leaderboards and ghosts, but there's not the head-to-head competitive nature that has existed perhaps in the past.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I've said this many times on the X1Bros podcast. It's a racing game. A racing game is as competitive as you can possibly get. It's up there with fighting games. You either win or you lose. A racing game is you have placements. You have first, second, third, fourth. You can actually quantify very easily how well you did in the race. The reason I feel that this game is not as competitive as, say, a Forza or any other racing game is the fact that there's no punishment. There's no true punishment for mistakes. The racing games require very technical. You take this turn this way. You take this turn this way. If you make a mistake, you're out. you're basically out of the race unless someone else makes a mistake. If you fall off the track or fall off a cliff in this and the guy has to pull you up, there are times when you stay, there's someone right next to you, you fall off the track, they pull you up, and you're still right there with them. It's not like the old Mario Kart.
So do you think, though, their philosophy maybe is changing, I wonder? Do you think that they're, instead of going for, let's not be a technical driving race, let's focus on
yeah, for sure.
the other opponents have to knock you, hit you
Yeah.
with their
I'm not
unlocks that they
saying
get
there's not a place for this game in the gaming world.
Sure.
It's definitely it's for kids. I mean, it can be for adults too, at a more casual level. It's a participation trophy racing game, and I don't mean that in an offensive way. I really do think that you can just play that and just have a good time and not worry about a competitive level. For me, as what I like to do and what I like to improve when I play. I like to improve when I play games. I want to get better. It's really hard to find out what's wrong with my play when there's no punishment for what I'm doing wrong. Does that make sense?
No, I understand what you're
Yeah.
saying.
So I don't mean to offend those that think this game is competitive. I just disagree with that. I don't think it's competitive. I think the market is for a younger audience, or those that just they have maybe nostalgia of Mario Kart, like my wife. My wife loves this game, and she loved the old Mario Karts as well. And it's just...
Well, I think... So do you think, though, to stay on this topic since we got on it,
yeah,
do you think, though, it's just they're changing the type of competitiveness that it is? So instead of being, you enjoy the competitiveness of
Forza.
where I am a more skilled driver than you.
Yeah.
Maybe Mario Kart and the developers of Mario Kart's philosophy is let's not focus on that side of competitiveness. Instead, it's all about how you knock off your other players, when you get your unlock, when you get your question marks, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. And so they want it to be that side of the competitive coin instead of the skilled, the Forza technical driving aspect of it.
So you're saying like a complete RNG with the question marks? The RNG and the question marks is debatable too.
Sure.
Like I don't know. Here's another thing. The first
but it
place
might be
person,
a philosophy shift.
The first place
the way that they're doing it as a franchise.
That makes. I get what you're saying. Another thing that makes this hard to stay in first place is they just give first place a coin whenever he gets a question mark. They give the last place person a blue shell or a the bullet bill that just passes everybody up. So that right there it also makes it so good technical play is not rewarded. It's all grouped together. They make the first place come back and the last place.
They're trying to create parity.
Yeah, and so and there is a place for that. Obviously, this game is popular. I do enjoy playing it, but I don't. It frustrates me at the competitive level.
You miss that competitive.
I miss
the competitive aspect that you like.
The Super Nintendo Mario Kart, the first one I was introduced to when I was a kid. When you fell off the cliff, it took like 12 seconds for that cloud guy to come, pick you up, and then move you over, and then put you up. And it started you as stopped. It didn't start you as you were continually riding.
Yeah, sure. Well, I mean, good discussion. Whether it's a philosophy change, a permanent philosophy change, or just for this game, we'll find out with the next iteration of Mario Kart.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. Thanks for that question, Super Nintendo Edit, or the comment in chat too.
Jordan. Biggest news. Give me a news story. It's the calm before the storm.
Yeah.
E3 is on Tuesday, but there was some stuff. Tell me what happened to Nintendo and what you liked.
Let's start with the appetizer, right?
Sure.
You have Shantae Half Genie Hero. Well, we got 2 new games coming out on the Nintendo Switch on the eShop here. Shantae Half Genie Hero. Right, this is from this is the latest installment from WayForward's platforming series.
Sure,
it's coming to the Switch. It came to the other consoles last year in December, but it's coming to the Switch now. The Switch version includes a hardcore mode, and a part I'm very excited for.
Sure,
a platform-specific content. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, what is it?
In the form of 150 HD Rumble events.
Oh,
during the course of the game.
Very nice. So you just get more rumble in your Joy-Con.
Oh yeah. Well, the thing is I've actually been impressed. So I have not purchased 1-2 Switch, which really shows off the HD Rumble, but a friend of mine from work has it, and we brought our Switches, and and I wanted to do the the HD Rumble. It really does. It's cool.
Yeah,
It's definitely a different feeling.
It's precise.
It's really cool. Yeah, it is a lot more precise, right?
Okay.
I feel like it's what the impulse triggers should have been on the Xbox One. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I like the impulse triggers. I do feel them, and I like the way they work, but they just don't seem tuned in,
Dialed in.
Yeah, there you go. Dialed. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they just, Whereas I feel like the ones in the Joy-Con feel a little bit more. They took a while to work on them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They tried.
Yeah.
I guess I'm not saying Microsoft didn't try, but I'm just saying,
Yeah.
they did feel pretty cool. So I'd be interested to see these 150 HD Rumble events. So pretty
if
cool.
you like your Joy-Cons the way you like your women with a lot of rumble, then this game's for you.
The second one that came out is another Neo Geo one.
Yeah.
Shock Troopers Second Squad. It's basically it's over the head run and gun gameplay. You can do 2 players. It has branching paths. If you want, you can mow down. You can shoot down your foes, or you can just get in a car and run them over. I mean, it's very it was ahead of its time when it came out originally.
It really was.
Yeah,
It really was.
So those are the 2 games that came out. Right now, let's get into the entrees. Right.
Okay.
The entree here of the week. Super Meat Boy was created or helped.
The Super Meat Boy creator, Edmund McMillan.
Yeah. Came out with his new, or didn't come out with his new game, but announced his new game. So it's called The End Is Nigh.
Okay.
Right?
I have not seen this, so
I'm
super
called
curious.
The End Is Nigh. It's an adventure platformer set after the end of the world. The players control Ash, one of a few things to survive the end of the world, right? You must guide Ash through nightmarish levels filled with decaying mutant creatures, collecting video game cartridges and tumors along the way. That's kind of the premise of it. Now, what's really cool about this is it's coming to the PC really soon, July 12th, but it's coming to the Nintendo Switch. Very specifically coming to the Nintendo Switch, and then probably later for some other things. But it is coming to the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
And if you're a McMillan fan, then you're...
Who isn't? Let's be honest.
McMillan says there's more than 600 levels and over 12 chapters in The End Is Nigh.
Okay.
So there's quite a lot to do. I kind of get the vibe. It's kind of like it's going to be similar to Binding of Isaac, where you kind of play it. Well, I mean, 600
Well, it
levels,
looks like
so, I mean,
it looks like Super Meat Boy. Is it a platform?
Well, no, it's a platformer, but
Yeah.
I feel like it's a platform like Super Meat Boy, but I also get the Bind of Isaac vibe where like you're constantly playing like multiple because there's 600 levels, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So you're playing over and over again to But I don't know. I mean, the game's not out yet. It's coming to the PC sooner, but it is coming to the Switch. Shortly after that, which will be cool.
Very nice.
Yeah, awesome.
Very cool. Now for the big one that caused a lot of ripples here in the Nintendo world. Like I didn't know Nintendo fans could be mean like this.
Oh, but they can be. It's not Nintendo fans, it's Pokemon fans.
Yeah.
They take their
there were
Pokemon serious.
They
There were
do.
some
They do.
comments, and I didn't agree with them all. Some I laughed at, some made you kind of come to tears. But they had a Pokemon Direct. Now, let's just get it out of the way. Yes, it was a little underwhelming. Right?
Okay.
The announcement came out. They kind of came out and said, hey, tomorrow there's going to be a Pokemon Direct. I got super excited. They did have some exciting stuff, right? But it was a little underwhelming, and I know E3 is just around the corner. But what happened is they came out with this Pokemon Direct, 8 minutes long, which was kind of like, oh, I thought it'd be I personally thought it was going to be a full Direct, but I still watched it, right?
Yeah.
They announced a couple games. First off, let's just start with the one that caused all the issues.
Okay.
Well, not issue. Well, the whole thing kind of caused it.
Sure.
Okay, let's just start with it, right?
Go.
So,
Okay.
Pokken is coming to the Nintendo Switch. It's gonna be like a Mario. So Pokken, if you've never played it, it's basically the best way to describe it is Mortal Kombat, Tekken, all fighting games just with Pokemon, right?
Okay.
So it's your fighting games with your combos and everything with Pokemon. I've played Pokken on the Wii U. It's fun, but I mean, it wasn't my favorite Pokemon game, right?
Yeah,
I
sure.
didn't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with it coming to the Switch, right?
Sure.
I mean, I don't have a problem with any game coming to the Switch, right? Yeah. More games is better, right?
Yes.
That was kind of the first issue. A lot of people didn't want that game, and they voiced their opinion, which is fine. But, there's nothing wrong with more games coming to the console, right?
Yes.
So anyway, Pokken is coming out. It's going to have, I think it's going to have a little extra, some extra characters. It's the deluxe version, so just kind of like Mario Kart. So it's going to have a few extra characters. There's, different stuff, all that fun deluxe.
It'll
stuff,
have
right?
it's the Game of the Year edition.
Yeah, basically. That's
Yeah.
essentially it. It's going to
Yeah.
have a few extra characters, a few other things, but anyway, pretty cool.
Okay.
Right? So I might pick it up because I did like the game. It's not a bad fighting game. It's fun. It's enjoyable. I liked playing as Charizard and all my other favorite Pokemon, right? And it's a good fighting game. It's a solid fighting game. It's just not, my
Your
favorite
favorite.
game. Like I was hoping for an RPG Pokemon, which is where the big stuff this is where it got dirty.
This is where it hit the fan.
This is where it got way intense.
So what happened?
So on the 3DS, which this next part I also think is a good thing. They're coming out with Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, right? Now, yes, Pokemon Sun and Moon are already out, but this is Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. I think the best comparison would maybe be to like Black and White 2. The old, there's Pokemon Black and White, and then there's Pokemon
Sure.
Black and White 2. It's set in the same region and everything. There's going to be new Pokemon that you've never seen before, and then there's also going to be kind of a newer story. So I kind of think of it as kind of a sequel, You're in the same region, but there is a new story, a few new things happening, which is cool, right? Now, where all the stuff happened, and by the way, these are coming out later this year, I believe in September, I want to say November 17th is when Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon come out on the 3DS, which is cool, right? If you missed out on the first version, which I think Sun and Moon were fantastic, so I think you should pick these up definitely if you missed out on the original ones.
Yeah,
I think this is a great place to jump in. But November 17th for those. Now, where all the comments
hubbub
and stuff came from is some people were saying, "Oh, bummer. Pokemon's coming out, right? I was more hoping for a Pokemon RPG on the Switch, which are like Sun and Moon, right? The kind of main series Pokemon, right?" A few people were upset at that comment and were saying mean things like you're an idiot, Pokemon needs to be played on 2 screens, and that's kind of where I wanted to jump in. So Pokemon on the DS is fun, and I don't mind the second screen. I think there's a lot of utility to it, especially in Pokemon, but in my opinion, before you guys rip me one, I don't think you need 2 screens to have a main series Pokemon. Now, there was some comments, and I'm not sure on this, there was some comments about how the Pokemon Company and Game Freak have already talked about how there's not going to be a main series of Pokemon on the Switch. That's fine. Just make a game and say it's not in the main series. It's not that hard. Like, it's not the part of the main series. And you just make a game.
The ODST of Pokemon.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, it's not a part of the.
Pokemon
It's not
ODST.
lore.
They should call it Pokemon ODST. Orbital Shock.
I don't think it was just really surprising because I don't expect this from the Nintendo community. You know what I mean? It jarred me a little bit, but there was a lot of nastiness back and forth about how it would be dumb to have a Pokemon RPG. Let's just call it that, right? Because it's the main series. Not necessarily the main series, but a Pokemon RPG, on the Switch. Now it's fully possible. They had Gale of Darkness on the GameCube, which may not be a lot of people's favorite, but they did it, and it was possible. Sure. In my opinion, like I said, I have a DS. By the way, guys, I bought a new DS this week. Yeah, $60.
So when I asked you what happened in your Nintendo week, you just didn't remember that? That's,
well, no,
that's not a big event in your life. You've had so many of them. It's just walk in the park.
It's sense to me. No, this guy on KSL was selling his for $60. So I said,
you can't beat that.
Okay, I'll take it.
Wait, you have a 3DS?
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, good for you.
I mean, it's a little beat up.
Oh, it's $60.
$60, not bad.
Yeah.
And I didn't when I traded in my 3DS and stuff to get my Switch, I didn't trade in my game, so it'll be fun to go back and play Pokemon Moon is the one I had.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. So anyway, but let's get back to the news here. So there, basically my thought is this: look, I like the 3DS. I played Pokemon before. I got my new 3DS this week. I'm going to play it again. I like the second screen. I think it has a lot of utility with it, but you do not need that
to make a good Pokemon
a good Pokemon game. It's been proven before. I mean, we didn't always have second screens. And yes, I mean, some of these games are better than the classics, but you do not need that. I mean, despite what a lot of people think, developers are pretty smart people, right?
Sure.
They can figure
despite what many people think.
Yeah.
like developers are picked on.
Yeah, I feel like some of them are. They're really smart people. They can figure out an interface that'll work for the Switch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the Switch is already touchscreen, but the thing is you can do an RPG, a successful RPG Pokemon game on the Switch. I honestly think that they will, right? A lot of people may
Yeah.
disagree with me. A lot of people may think it's dumb of me to think that. But this week, a lot of people in our own Discord, on YouTube, a lot of comments I've seen were like, oh, bummer, maybe I'll wait on doing a Switch until they get a main series Pokemon RPG. A lot of people like the Pokemon format, the Pokemon gameplay. It's only and the way the Switch is built, it's only natural for that to be a full-fledged Pokemon game on the Switch, right? And I saw a few comments saying like, oh, maybe I'll wait on the Switch until Mario comes out, or something, or until they get it, because a lot of people wanted Pokemon on the Switch because they don't necessarily want to do the 3DS, or they, what I mean, they want the Switch console, but and what got me is a lot of people were talking about how that's dumb to have a main series Pokemon on the Switch, which I don't think it's dumb at all. Why how it's
It's because people are hopes are up, and so since it's not a main Pokemon, they're a little disappointed. It'll still sell well.
No, I get that, but what I'm saying is, on the other side, people are upset at the people that want a main series Pokemon on the Switch. That's where the huge arguments are coming from.
Yeah,
they're basically saying, and I quote, "That's stupid. Pokemon needs 2 screens," and worse things than that. But that's the gist of it.
That's fine. Here's the thing.
That's an opinion, but
the opposite of love is hate, right?
Yeah.
The opposite. Sorry, is not hate. The opposite is ambivalence.
Mm-hmm.
So if people are hating you, you're doing something right.
Yeah,
like
good point,
that's how. And so the fact that people are so passionate about their Pokemon that they hate the fact that it's not a real Pokemon that's coming to the Switch, that game is going to do fantastic. I will buy that game. I love the Pokemon.
I think you're misunderstanding what I'm saying. So
you just shut him down.
No.
David's face.
No, because that's not what I'm saying. That's not what the people are hating.
Oh,
so
sorry.
Pokémon's coming out, and no one's against Pokken on the Switch, right?
Okay.
The deluxe edition. No
Sure.
one's against it. They're just saying.
Pokemon,
some people are saying, "Oh,
the traditionalists are saying Pokemon needs 2 screens."
Yeah,
that's why I don't want it on my system.
The hardcore
but that's what I'm saying. So they are mad. So they're not going to buy a Switch. Who cares? I'm not worried about it. That eventually, in 10 years, when Nintendo Switch decides to put a Pokemon on, they'll buy it then. But you're still going to do really well. The fact that they're so passionate about it is good for your brand, regardless. It shows the strength of Pokemon.
Now I get what you're saying. Yeah. No, I get that. But what I'm saying is why is there so much hate on people that want, for example?
Well, that's why. Because they're so passionate about their Pokemon. If it's not done exactly how they want it, they're going to be.
But that is a double-edged sword, because you get in a rut with things like that. Look at Call of Duty. It was exactly how people wanted it. It's been the same for 5 years now. 6 years, 7 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, you get.
David's just saying.
No, I know, but I'm just
saying because those traditional fanboys, let's call them fanboys, exist. Sure. That means you're doing something right, because you got an audience strongly opinionated that love your game.
Yeah.
Or if that
I get that.
Yeah.
I just don't see the problem with wanting an RPG Pokemon on the Switch. I think the Switch is made for it. I think it would do good on the 3DS, and I think it would do good on the Switch.
You know what? I'm with you.
Well, just because it's not there this year doesn't mean it's not going to come next year.
And when they said Pokken, he specifically said this is the first Pokemon game coming to Switch, right?
So I'm not worried. I'm not worried about.
No,
it
I'm not worried either. I'm just saying
it is surprising.
There was a huge
to see the hate out there.
There was a huge the comments were like,
and that's why you tune into the NES Bros.
Yeah, I'm just saying
we are about positivity. We just love our games, regardless of whether they do what we want or not.
Yeah. Well,
should be fun. You're missing the point.
Yeah, all I'm bringing to this is, or all I it's just, when I was reading through all these comments, I was like, guys, why is everybody so mad? If you want a Pokemon RPG on the Switch, that's fantastic. If you don't want it, then you got a bunch on the 3DS, and that's great too.
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with games coming to platforms. The more platforms are on, the better.
Yeah.
But anyway, and then of course, moving on, the Pokemon, it stirred up a lot of pots this week. But we do have the E3 this weekend.
Yeah,
that's
and
exciting.
If you would like to...
Okay. So, sorry. Jordan's gonna go over the schedule of the Nintendo E3. But before you do, chances we just got done talking Pokemon. Chances that Nintendo, give me a percentage that Nintendo announces a Pokemon at E3
for the Switch,
yeah,
or for
the Switch.
3DS.
For the Switch, of course.
Well, they already got Pokken coming to the Switch.
So you don't think
I
this
don't
year
think
it's
they're
happening?
I don't think they're gonna do anything.
So you
with
give
Pokemon.
it less than a 5%.
I think they're gonna drop up. Yeah.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
I think they're gonna drop a bomb, but it's gonna be nothing they've talked about yet. I think Nintendo.
It's gonna be a surprise.
I think for Nintendo to have a successful E3, they need to drop one bomb because they're already going to show off Mario Odyssey, which we know is coming, right? But I think they need to drop one more game they haven't talked like a Metroid game or something. You know what I mean? Just
that
one
would be
game
so sick.
that they're just like, oh, and by the way, bam. Right here.
Bam!
Bam!
I mean, I don't care if it's Metroid. I don't care if it's a completely new IP. I don't, I think they have to just drop one huge piece of news and then they can call it good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For them to have a successful conference, because they're already going to have Mario Odyssey. They're probably going to show off some ARMS stuff, and they already have their lineup for the year that they'll show. They'll probably show off some of the Zelda season pass stuff, which will be really cool. But I think they need to do something that they haven't talked about. Just one big. Maybe as they're walking off the stage or the video that we're going to see, just, oh, yeah, and by the way, bam.
Shabam!
Yeah, so.
Very nice.
But I don't think it'll be Pokemon. I think Pokken is the Switch Pokemon game for this year, and then maybe next year we'll get something else for it.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, that's exciting. So Nintendo E3 this week. It's Tuesday. Where can people tune in? What time? What to expect?
It's June 13th, which, yes, is Tuesday. 9 p.m. Pacific time, 12 p.m. Eastern time. You can go to e3.nintendo.com to watch it if you can't find it anywhere else, but it should be on your standard Twitch, all
Mixer,
Nintendo.com.
YouTube,
Everywhere
YouTube
you
Live,
usually stream.
everywhere.
Sometimes Nintendo is a little harder to find, but
It will
when
be
all
there.
else fails, you can go to e3.nintendo.com, or you can just go to nintendo.com, and I guarantee there's going to be a big old E3 button.
Big old video.
Big old E3 button. Yeah,
right
video
there.
push,
Very
push.
nice. Super excited. Let's get to some questions
Yeah.
right away. Sorry, I clicked off the thing. Max Bacon writes in and he says, is Nintendo cheaping out by recycling games instead of making new ones, or are they playing on the fact that the Wii U didn't sell well? For instance, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, the recently announced Pokken Tournament,
Deluxe.
even Breath
Ultra.
of the Wild was originally going to be a Wii U game. Max says, I'm kind of disappointed how long we have to wait for new versions of these games. Do we think they're cheaping out, or is this just the nature of a year one console? Let's start with Mark. Go.
Well, that was a really long question. The question is Nintendo being cheap about reusing IPs,
Yes.
basically?
Yeah.
Well,
Are you disappointed that they're reusing IPs and there's not as much new, fresh content for specifically exclusives for the Switch?
Well, Nintendo is kind of in its. It's hard to compare Xbox, PlayStation, PC with Nintendo because Nintendo is so good at making those IPs good the second time, the third time, the fourth time. I mean, Mario has been around since the 80s. Yeah, and they still make great Mario games.
Sure.
I don't think Nintendo falls into that category that they're just being lazy because they're not. I mean, they make games with the same IPs excellent that are different. Like let's say Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Sure.
That is one of the best games.
However, Breath of the Wild was originally a Wii U game.
That
or
they
a
ported
Wii
over
game
to the
that
Switch.
They ported
Yeah.
over to the Switch.
Well-
I think the question is, are you disappointed that there's not games
Like
built for the Switch
Switch,
specific?
Well,
Or as many?
it's new. I
Yeah.
mean, the Switch is in its infancy. I don't think we can judge it the same way we judge a system that's been around for 5 years,
Sure.
or 6
absolutely.
years, or 7 years.
Absolutely.
You know, so I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't think so. I think Nintendo is very good at reusing their IPs in a manner that doesn't turn off fans.
Absolutely.
And I think the Switch is in its infancy, so I don't think you can say, I personally think it was a smart move to hold off Zelda until the Switch came out, because look how many sales happened because of Zelda on the Switch.
Yeah.
I mean,
People want it on the latest, most powerful hardware.
yeah, and I personally got it on the Wii U because I couldn't find a Switch, or
Sure.
I didn't want a Switch at the time, and then I couldn't find a Switch, so I got it on the Wii U, played it. I wish I would have gotten it on the Switch. I think the Switch is far more superior when it comes to portable gameplay than the Wii U.
Well, yeah.
I plug it in my car. I plug it in my car with a little AC adapter, the Wii U,
Oh, yeah.
so I can play Zelda in the passenger seat when my wife drives.
That's funny.
You know, I wish I had. I think the Switch is a great system, and I think it'll be around.
Sure. I think that's a great point that they do such a good job of reusing their games. And I agree with you. I don't think it's a problem and I'm not disappointed because you have the same problem with Xbox year one. You have the same problem with PlayStation year one. You're going to get ports of games. It's the exclusives come after. The exclusives come in year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5. You know what I mean? So, and we will get there. So I'm not super concerned about that either. Just like you, Mr. McSpicy.
Good question, though.
Max Bacon, great question. If you want to submit a question every week over on Facebook, facebook.com/NES Bros. Don't forget to go submit a question there. Patrick Matson writes in and says, what one game would you be excited to see unveiled for the Switch? For me, it's Metroid Prime 4 or a new trilogy in the same vein.
That's what I'm saying. I think there needs to be a bomb.
You think there's going to be one big game
I think
announced.
that's what I'm saying. I think for them to have a successful E3, put it this way: if they came out and they just showed, the Zelda DLC that we're getting later, the Mario Odyssey stuff, the Splatoon stuff, some ARMS stuff, stuff that we already know about.
Sure.
I think it'll be like, yeah, we're excited for that. I don't think it'll be successful. I really think they need to show all that, and then just drop a bomb. Whether it's for
boom, shabam,
and honestly, I would say either for the 3DS, for the Switch, but I think it does need to be to show off, like, hey, this is what's coming to the Switch. Like, just drop
a big one.
Yeah,
just drop a big one right there.
I agree. I think a Metroid Prime,
nice big hot steamy one.
I agree. I think a Metroid Prime 4 would be excellent. I would also, a completely new IP would be awesome. I even would go if they announced kind of maybe, this isn't as big as a bomb, but if they announced like a Nintendo Switch virtual console like the Wii U and stuff does, I even think that would be a good, like, all right, the virtual console's coming or something like that. I think they need more of an IP, though. The virtual console stuff would be cool.
Sure.
But I think, something like that, like a Metroid Prime. The Prime series was a lot of fun.
So excellent question, Patrick. Spicy, I'm going to give this question to you. Tim Anderson, in the same vein, if you could make it happen, you had all power. You were the Nintendo god.
Okay. All right.
What game would you see announced at E3?
For the Nintendo? For the Switch, I guess?
Yes,
or
for the Switch.
Any game on any console, anywhere?
You are the Nintendo god. You make Nintendo happen.
So you buy, I can buy an IP from anywhere? Okay.
Yes.
Can I buy a developer instead of a game?
You're just announcing a game at E3.
Okay. I would go, we just so you know, we poached Naughty Dog from Sony. And The Last of Us 2 is coming out on the Switch.
On Switch.
Yeah.
That would be freaking sweet. If
that would be sweet.
They poached Naughty Dog.
In a similar vein, I would say you don't even have to announce a new IP. I think if Nintendo ended their conference and said, and as of today, Grand Theft Auto 5 is now available on the Nintendo Switch, I think they would destroy. I think that would be huge. Just the way the console works, that it's portable, and not having a Grand Theft Auto on any of the Nintendos, that announcement alone would be ginormous.
Get Rockstar.
They did have that China one.
Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah.
Exclusive.
Yeah, by the exclusivity rights. That would be hilarious. Great questions. Thank you so much, everybody, for writing in. Again, every week you can submit a question over on facebook.com/NES Bros. We're almost to 1,000 people over there for the NES podcast. Thanks so much, everybody, for doing that. Let's finish this show. E3, expectations, hype, what do you want to see, and then where can people find you this week?
Oh, that's a lot of questions. You can find me on Twitter at Mr. McSpicy. Let's get that one out of the way.
There you go.
Expectations. I'm with Jordan. I'm exactly with Jordan. I expect a big, hot, steamy bomb to be blown right on all over. Boom! Just right there. Just
so every time you say that, I think, because when you drop a bomb, I think negative, like a negative connotation.
No.
But you want to drop a hype bomb.
A nice big one.
Yeah.
just right there. And Nintendo's kind of cool. Like, they make old IPs seem new. They really do.
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be a new IP. It could be an old IP. Metroid. I mean, and I
appreciate that.
Yeah, just whatever. Just feel me. That's what I want to be. I want to be fulfilled with Nintendo.
Very nice, Jordan. Take us out. Where can people find you, and what do you want to see? E3, Nintendo.
Jordan Man XOB everywhere. And I'm really happy with Nintendo's lineup for the rest of the year, but I would just like to see that one just big over the top, like, hey, you bought a Switch and here you go.
Yeah.
Bam.
The Oprah moment.
Yeah, exactly.
Oprah.
Yeah. The
It's
bomb,
my
the Oprah
birthday!
Yeah. So I would just like to see that one big announcement, which I think they'll do.
Yeah.
I think they'll have
I am X1Bros everywhere. I want to see more details about Nintendo
Live. Yeah,
Nintendo Live, whatever.
maybe
Nintendo Online. I want to see how their headsets are going to work. I want to see how they expect you to chat with each other. I want to see it functioning. I want to see more about that. And that would make me happy, maybe.
Maybe.
If they do it right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you.
Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. It has been another awesome show. It's the calm before the storm. After this, things are going to get crazy.
Yeah.
Things are going to get crazy.
We're on like a what? A
Countdown.
like 30-hour countdown for the
Yeah.
Xbox One.
Xbox One, then the PlayStation, then Nintendo's on Tuesday. Tune in. Join us over on Discord. We'll be discussing it there all week. Thanks so much, everybody, for tuning in. We will see you guys next week. Have fun, Nintendo!
Woohoo!